JJ Solomon.
This Corey Bradshaw, Mr. IOTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.
It's your boy, Mr. IOTBA, Mr. 214, Senor Dos, Senor Dos, Mr. Undeniable, Mr. D-Boy can't touch me on my worst day. Right here with my dog, my partner in crime, my brother from another, Mr. JJ Solomon. What's poppin', my guy?
How goes it, sir? How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, and I want everybody to know this is the Spit Bucket Podcast. 78.
78. 78. Look at you, dog.
Number 78.
How you doing, bro? What's poppin'?
Oh, man, chilling, bro. Just been chilling, bro. It's been a great time, over these last few weeks. We've been out, been able to sit back with the family, the wife, the two kids, Thanksgiving, where family could come together, happy holidays to everybody, if y'all celebrate that day I do. And I had a great time with just me, my wife, and my two kids, and we celebrated it together as a family, just us four.
That's beautiful, dog. That's what it's Thanksgiving, our families, bro. This was a special one because obviously I have my brand new baby. She's 9 months old, about to be 10 months this week. But this will be, for those of you guys who don't know, my son is 18, my daughter is 15. So this will be the last Thanksgiving. I know my kids, my son's going to come back from college and all that, but this is going to be the last Thanksgiving where we're all home, It's going to be the last Christmas time we're all under one roof. So I made sure to take extra mental pictures of every little moment, but just soaking up my time with my babies and my wife. Going to see the family. We're going to actually do a little bit more Thanksgiving today with my folks. So just relaxing, bro. And like you said, man, taking every second to be grateful, dog. We got a lot to be grateful for. I know sometimes this is for everybody listening. I know sometimes it feels like shit's stacking up on us, but I promise you there's always something to be grateful for, man. We live in the best country in the world. And when time hits y'all hard, bro, just look around and find them things to be grateful for. I just wanted to throw that out there. But no, we got a lot of catching up. Go ahead.
No, that's a great point you said, right? Because in the Bible, it's like, have no fear, have faith, right? And when you have faith and have no fear and don't worry about nothing and just go off that faith, anything is possible.
100%, bro. Seek first the kingdom, and everything else will fall right into place. Man, but real quick, Corey, we've been kind of out for a minute. We come back a little bit to do an interview here and there, and to our followers, we appreciate y'all checking in and keeping up with us. But 2024 with the baby, new jobs, all sorts of stuff, man, we've been crazy. But Corey and I are in place. We're ready to take this thing to the next level. But let's talk a little bit about the Cowboys, dog. Before we get into this wide world of boxing and this crazy circus that we got to do. I feel like we owe it to the community. Like, what the hell is going on, bro? How are you feeling about our 2024 Cowboys, dog?
It's not it ain't been what we thought it was gonna be, right? And we tipped the scale early when we got far behind. But one thing I like is the resolve in the Cowboys, and they're showing that, right? And the players are showing that they love Mike McCarthy, right? Because it could have been easy for the Cowboys, to lay it down when, you just signed your franchise quarterback to the biggest deal ever. You lose DeMarcus Lawrence, one of the best defensive ends in the game, run stoppers in the game. You lose Micah Parsons. You don't have Bland there for the whole season. It could have been easy for these guys to lay it down, right? But they just showing resolve, right? And I know, it's high hopes, but if you really look at it, Cowboys still have a chance to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but statistically, they are still in the mix for the playoffs. So when I look at JJ, I look at the resolve, right? because these players could have easily quit on this coach in his last year on his contract, which they call it a lame duck, but they showing that they're gonna fight for this coach, bro. And me personally, I know a lot of Cowboys fans might not feel this way. I don't think Mike McCarthy got anything to do with what happened with this season. I think Mike McCarthy is an excellent coach, and I will look forward. I hope that Mike McCarthy is our coach going forward next year. Think about it. You got a new defensive coordinator and Mike Zimmer come to the team, trying to implement a defense, a brand new defense to a team that was defensive dominant under Dan Quinn, who went to the Washington. Now they're going to be the Redskins again, Shout out to the NFL, for that, Washington Redskins, even though they are rival, it's just history there, and so Mike Zimmer had to implement, his defense in. You got Overshawn, he coming on, he's showing he is a premier player. So I just like the resolve, JJ, and I don't blame it, on the coaches. Um, I think Jerry Jones is at fault. He is at fault, right? Because he told us that he was all in, right? He told us that he was all in, and then being all in, our running game wasn't as great. But now with Rico Dowdle, he just had his first 100-yard game of his career in the first one of the Cowboy season. But they've been finding a way to win. CeeDee Lamb, the most receptions in the league right now. Cooper Rush coming in, commanding this offense. Here we go. Here we go. So I like the resolve, JJ.
God, that was a lot to say about these damn Cowboys. Hey, salute to the Keggy. Appreciate you tuning in on this Saturday. Boot to the fraud, weaseling out of Vergil Ortiz fight. Oh, we got so much to say. But we haven't connected in a while, so we're just doing some catch-up. But we ask that you please stay tuned and please stay plugged in. Comment a little bit about what we're talking about now, but we got a lot to talk about, and Boot is right there in the middle of it. We got a lot to say about that, so shout out to Keggy. No, dog. Listen, I'm not going to have an in-depth analysis. I just got to get it off my chest. Like, I don't know what we're doing, bro. Like, everything you just said could be repeated from the year before and the year before and the year before and the year before. Well, we're mid-season. We're doing our calculations, wondering if we got a chance. And look, say we do slip into the playoffs. What does that do? That gives all of Cowboy Nation that little bit of hope. That gives Jerry the ammunition to say, hey, I told y'all we're getting real close. My Dallas Cowboys are getting real close. No. Listen, for the first time in a long time, the Cowboys fans, the players, the community, the city, the media is getting to see what it's like to be a real bad team. All these years of mediocrity, that wasn't bad. That was average. That was us being crybabies because we wanted them 90s dynasty teams back. Those were just average teams. They could still beat the good teams. They'd lose to the bad teams sometimes. But this, what we're seeing now, is bad. I know we beat a terrible New York Giants team. It looked convincing. I'm glad Dak didn't play that game because you know why? Had Dak played that game, we'd be hearing everybody talking about how great Dak Prescott is. The whole team needs to just get blown up. I blame Jerry. We could have Don Shula, Vince Lombardi, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells as a coach, and it wouldn't matter because it starts at the top. It's a culture thing. These kids think as soon as they put that star on their head, they have arrived. Zeke Elliott didn't have to play a snap in preseason. Why? Because he's one of Jerry's boys. The team is so caught up in themselves. It starts at the top with his owner and his stupid-ass building, not wanting to put up curtains, just – bro, everything about this team disgusts me. Unfortunately, I'm a fan till forever. But until something changes at the top, nothing they do surprises me. Nothing they do moves the needle. Look, if we win a Super Bowl one day, I'm going to love it. It's going to feel good. But I'm so tired of them, bro. They can all kiss my ass. But that's my Cowboy. I have nothing positive to say about it. Like, what do I have to say positive about him? Overshawn? Like, thank you. I'm glad I like his future. He works hard and hustles.
You got the right to feel like that. A lot of fans do too. But I think sometimes we be too harsh on the Cowboys. Well, I really do. You know, I'm a Cowboys fan too. I can keep it real with the Cowboys and say that they need things to be done and they need to be better, right? But I think a lot of the blame come on Jerry. And I want one Cowboy fan in this world to tell me that you want to win more than that guy does,
No, I
right?
used to believe that. I used to
No,
believe
but
that.
I don't think
Jerry cares
nobody
about
else.
the dollars, bro. That's it. Jerry's
JJ,
job is to put up a front every Sunday for 17 weeks of the year to go out there and sell to us that he's trying hard. But it don't matter, bro, because at the end of the year, he's going up $1 billion every year. You think he gives a shit what his little football team did? He don't care.
I think at like 60, 65, you know, when the Cowboys was, you know, really popping and making their mark. Yeah, he cared about the money. You know, after the Super, yeah, he cared about the money to build the brand. But we're talking about a guy who's 83 years old now, Jay. So I get it. He deserved criticism. I ain't saying Jerry don't deserve criticism. He does, right? But I'm telling you, Jerry Jones really want to win. But Jerry Jones does have blame in not going and fixing a lot of the holes, especially in the running back position. I give Rico Dowdle credit now, going, you know, week 12, whatever it is now, him finally getting a 100-yard game. But Jerry Jones should address that earlier in the season. So, absolutely, he deserves all the criticism for that. But I give this team credit. They're not quitting, JJ.
I
They're
like
not
that.
quitting.
And for that, yeah.
A lot of people said that he shouldn't get Dak the money. And I mean, a lot of people say, get Dak the money, he deserve it. People didn't think that. Jerry Jones at the 15th hour, he gave Dak Prescott that money, so he showed that he really wanted to win. One day he didn't never want to give him the contract because obviously, if he's the highest paid, they just wanted that number to be right. So I just think, you know, they say like Forrest Gump say, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're
Look,
gonna get in that box of
I'll close
chocolate.
with this. I'll close with this with Cowboys talk. Look, Jerry Jones is a magnificent owner, best in the league. Nobody can deny that. What he's done with this team, what he's done with the NFL, with every other owner in the league, he's put money in their pockets. Jerry Jones needs to understand that we will give him credit if he makes the hardest decision in his career by letting go of GM. We will give him credit. But the Cowboys need a general manager who's not trying to land Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. The Cowboys need a general manager who's going to be at the Senior Bowl. He's going to a general manager who's going to be keeping an eye on the waiver wire. He's going to be constantly draining himself with football, not dollar signs and all that. We need a GM. He's doing his team an injustice if he's doing part-time general managing, dog. We're the only team in the league who doesn't have a full-time GM. And if Jerry Jones gives up that title, the whole community will give him his round of applause. And imagine if we win a Super Bowl with another GM. We will turn around and say, Jerry, thank you for letting go, making the hardest decision. But until then, bro, until he's trying to land the next big boxing fight in WrestleMania and all these shit at the stadium, he can't be a full-time GM. He can't. That's why it took us 2 or 3 months to realize that Rico Dowdle is our number one. That's why we had Derrick Henry moving into Dallas and didn't get a phone call for but that's neither here nor there. Corey, we have a lot of boxing to get to, bro. It's been so long since we've been up. What's up to WCS, morning to TSB on our special Saturday. Cowboys fans are delusional. Jones doesn't care about that team when he's making money. Listen, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I feel you. I am a little delusional. Mr. Gumbo said, Mr. 214, let it go, Jerry Springer. All right, man. Listen, we're going to do things a little different today. Since we are just now catching up, we've been a little MIA. I got things I want to talk about. IOTBA got things he want to talk about. So we're just going to shoot from the hip. We're just going to bring up topics, give them 5 or 10 minutes, let the panel let the chat talk a little bit about it. Before we jump in, though, we just want to remind you guys, if y'all can hit that like button, subscribe, if y'all can share this, if y'all are watching on Twitter, if y'all can retweet it. Just please, we sure would appreciate it. It costs you guys nothing to do that, and it helps us tremendously. So yeah, Corey, with that said, dog, let's get this damn thing started. What's the first thing you want to talk about in this catch-up episode today, bro?
Lead off with that Boots and Vergil, JJ. I think that's the hardest thing to talk about.
You want to go Boots Vergil?
Yeah, let's go Boots Vergil, man.
Hey, speak up a little bit, because you kind of you're a little soft voice.
Can you hear me? That Boots Vergil? Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So there it is. We were getting really excited about Riyadh season, February 22nd, Saudi Arabia. It sounded like the pieces were coming together for Vergil Ortiz to take on Boots Ennis. Boots is going to make his debut at 154. Bro, Boots told us after his last performance against Karen Chumbawamba, he said, I'm ready to move to 154. He said, I want all the names at 154. They've been calling out Bud Crawford. And we got to last night we got to see reported by Dan Rayfield that it's not happening. Talks have collapsed, all because Boots has now decided that he wants to stay at 147 and defend his strap. So, Corey, my question to you is, we saw everybody calling Team Brian Norman Jr. crazy for whatever went on. They didn't want to make a little bit more money. Now we're seeing this shit with Vergil Ortiz. Everybody was excited about this fight. Where do you put the blame? Does this fall squarely on Boots Ennis? What are your thoughts, my boy?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. This falls on Jerron Boots Ennis, his
Let's hear
daddy
it.
Bozy Ennis, and the management of Team Ennis, right? Like JJ, this is what's wrong with the sport, right? We
Talk
keep
about it.
preaching this. You just made a mention of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and I know we're gonna get to that later. But see, this is the reason why Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are able to do what they're able to do, JJ, because fighters like Boots Ennis and the rest of these crop of privileged American fighters that we have, they do this time and time again. Look, JJ, Boots, he ain't new to this. This ain't just got first time turning down the fight. I remember, JJ, no debating when Terrence Crawford was trying to get Boots to come fight on Black Prime, and Jerron Boots Ennis and his daddy Moses Ennis with that teepee he wore around his head. They said no, JJ. So this clearly falls on Jerron Boots Ennis, Bozy Ennis, the whole team Ennis, and it's disgusting, right? Because you hear a lot of these guys out here hype this guy up. You hear him hype him up saying he wants the big fights. He want to do this. He want to do that. He ain't showed us nothing, JJ. I'm talking about in a big fight, JJ, where we could be like, okay, whoop-de-whoop. This is a measurement fight to show us, if you will, who you say he is. And turning down this fight is absolutely disgusting, right? And I understand why the boxing public is absolutely furious with this guy, Jerron Ennis.
Bro, I hear the heat in your voice. I feel it, and I would argue that most of the American body, we always see lines in the sand. Oh, you team PBC, or you team this, or you team that. I think America woke up this morning to that news, and they got pissed off. Just like Cowboys fans here are starting to slowly turn on Jerry and the team and this bullshit idea. I think American boxing fans are slowly starting to wake up. And look, you get a lot of shit for talking a lot of shit. Your name is I'm on that bullshit again. You get a lot of shit for calling it out. And it almost looks like you're hating sometimes. But it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. We can't keep ignoring it. We can't keep seeing our superstar fighters fighting people that when I have over at my house, I have to explain to them who the other guy is. Oh, you never heard of him? I know, but he might be good. Or, it's easy. There's no other business in America that has such a hard time understanding. Just give the customers what they want. No bullshit, no, all this behind the scenes stuff. We've been talking about it since the spit bucket has existed. Let's give the fighter what they want. Now, you see Jake Paul get this fight, and all of these boxers all of a sudden, hey, that's disrespectful to boxing. Why don't you come fight a real boxer, Jake Paul? You know what else is disrespectful to boxing? You ignoring the fights that we want to see, American boxers. whether that's Boots Ennis, whether that's Tank Davis, whether that's Teofimo Lopez, whatever. The list goes on and on and on. That's disrespectful for boxing. And that caused this Jake Paul, YouTube, misfits, all of that shit. So don't come at me with, I'm going to save boxing by beating Jake Paul. No, do your job and fight the people we want to see. That alone will save boxing. Red, white, and blue boxing people. That's my thoughts on it. And bro, hold on. Let's not. And shout out to User Fat. I forget. I don't know how to pronounce the name on Twitter. But he also reminded us. Don't forget about the egregious $300,000 offer they made to Conwell. Like they keep getting away. Boots Ennis. Like they keep finding ways to get out of those fights where we could measure you, prove it. Like prove it, Boots. You said you want to be one of the greats. What are we doing? You said no to Brian Norman, and now you're saying no to Vergil Ortiz. What? Eddie Hearn was so excited about picking up American boxers. Now he's starting to see, I don't want to fuck with American boxers. It's terrible, dog. And look, I say this respectfully because as a man, as a dude, as a fighter, I like Boots. I like Boots, what he's shown thus far in the ring. But damn, dog. Like this ain't, I don't watch boxing to see who would be a cool friend or who would make a good neighbor or who I want to take my dog out for a walk and shit. Like, no, all of these guys are probably cool. I got no issue with none of them. Let's fight. Please, let's fight.
No, I don't like him. And I don't like none of these fighters who don't give us the fights that we want to see. I do not like Boots Ennis. This is a guy who still got his daddy and Moses Ennis holding his hand like he's a toddler and walking him around and saying, no, you can't fight him. You can't fight him. If you be a good boy, you can get the biggest lollipop in the store. You have to let his hands go at some point in time. Just like with Javante Tank Davis and every other fighter who are repeating the same episode. But then you hear these guys crying on all the videos about they're not getting the money that they deserve. Well, you idiots, you're not getting the money you deserve because you're not fighting the fights that we want to see. Listen, when you have Jake Paul events, when you have KSI events, misfits, I'm looking at that on Thursday or Friday. I'm astonished of the crowd that KSI got. His little brother on the card. You got this dude named South. Look, JJ, crazy event. And the reason why is because fighters like Boots Ennis, we're talking about you specifically right now, sir. Fighters like you and the people who gas him around. Look, I remember these same guys who like to juggle Boots nuts right now. The same guys, right, was talking trash about Earl Spence, JJ, saying Earl Spence wouldn't do this and do that. Well, I guarantee you, Earl Spence fought everybody else except Terrence Crawford until it was right. Boots Ennis ain't fought nobody. Because you know why he ain't fought nobody? Because he ain't who him, his daddy, and all them dudes around there said he is. We seen him against Cameron. We seen uppercut after uppercut after uppercut land on that guy. We seen his defense ain't impregnable, like Mike Tyson say. We see his defense is sloppy as they come, and Bozy see it too. That's why this guy is under federal protection against any guy who could punch.
And let's take a second to address the heat that Vergil has gotten. Yeah, medically, he had to pull out of some fights. Medically, right? And listen, we can say what you want about him cutting weight and being a weight bully or whatever the hell. It was medical reasons the fights were signed still to deliver. I forget the guy he fought where he had a hard time in 154. Bobic, or how the hell you say his name? But he signed up for that fight.
Bobic.
Yeah, Bobic. And then he had a fight signed up with Tim Tszyu. A lot of people were saying, Vergil, inactivity. You ain't really had a fight to be ready. Vergil was ready for it. Again, no shot at Tim Tszyu. That was a medical issue. Now Vergil coming off. He still hasn't got a lot of rounds in, man. Boots Ennis, the boogeyman. Everybody's scared of him. Vergil didn't care. Sign it up. Let's make the fight happen. Of course, he has to do it at 154. So I know Vergil taking a lot of heat. I know he's done a lot of been inactive, but I think that's not this American problem that we're having. The American problem we're having is the picking and the choosing, and the picking and the choosing, and the inactivity from our superstars. What does that do? That doesn't allow you to become known. The only people who know who Boots Ennis is are boxing diehards. You can't ask your neighbor to your left and your right, do you know who Boots Ennis is? No. They'll think he's a kid's character, a little children's character from Dora the Explorer. That's who Boots is. But no, they think they're there already because of their distorted fan base. They think they've arrived, and then they think they can pick and choose. But look, we're obviously frustrated. All right, we're frustrated. But let's talk about the why. Like, do you think I don't believe I will never get on here to say somebody's scared of somebody else. Boxers are a little bit psycho. They're not scared of anybody, all right? But we heard Mean Machine, who's been in the ring with both Vergil Ortiz and Terrence Crawford. We heard Mean Machine tell Fight Hub, hey, Vergil hits harder, and if I had to pick who would win, I think Vergil would beat Bud Crawford. I know that's ringing the alarm. I know that sounds crazy. But do you think that maybe Bozy and Boots and Team Ennis saw something that, yeah, we can keep calling out Bud Crawford and aging Bud Crawford, but not Vergil? Like, what makes you think that? Why, bro? I don't want to say they're scared of Vergil. Why? What do you think is the why?
No. I'm gonna tell you what the why is. No, they not scared, but they scared to lose. They scared to lose. That's the problem. They scared to lose. Bozy Ennis is a terrified man. I'm talking about him and the little TP he got around his head. He's terrified right now. Everybody in the 215, they are terrified right now to put Boots Ennis against anybody because that little party they having right now will come raining down on them real quick, JJ. They scared to lose because JJ, when you start stepping up in competition, and I ain't even saying Karen was a step up, but that just showed you how much Boots Ennis done not got better than he have gotten better when Karen was able to come into the next fight and able to land punches, hard punches, easy punches, make Boots Ennis look like he was a guy who just had 10 fights, right? So they're not scared, but they're scared to lose because they know if they lose, this glamification and this stuff that they're trying to preach that they said that Boots was, it'll show us in the ring that he is not. Is Boots a good fighter? Yeah, but he's not as good as they said he was. And we've seen that against Karen. We've seen his defense is sloppy. We've seen if this dude is fighting a guy like Vergil Ortiz or any guys in 154 who have power, besides a guy like Karen, he will get exposed and probably get knocked out because he is easy to be hit. I'm talking about super easy. And then what took me out, Shakur's like, oh, Boots is this and that. Shakur, really? Now I got to ask you about your boxing IQ. Since you tell us we don't know about boxing because the Boots we seen that dude get hit with everything, but a goddamn arm.
No, listen, man, and those are all valid points. You're scared to lose, scared to take that chance. Look, and I'm going to touch on the Karen thing, and we talked about this with Brian Norman Sr., and I wasn't gassing up Brian Norman just because he was on. I think Brian Norman gives Boots a run for money, if not beats him. We're seeing something. Oh, and I was going to tell you this earlier, and I'm going to get on it. All right, so the point I made was the Karen fight. When you have an elite fighter look mediocre in a first fight, you usually see him make the adjustments in the rematch if he's an elite fighter, and then he looks great in the rematch. Look at Mayweather, Maidana, Mayweather Castillo. Look at, I believe, De La Hoya beat Sugar Shane Mosley in the rematch. Look at Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor. Like, the rematches always tell the real story of who the better fighter is, especially when you're talking about an elite fighter. Boots Ennis showed in his rematch with Karen, he didn't make the necessary adjustment. Karen made the adjustment. The lesser fighter made the adjustments and made Boots look even worse. That first fight was, Karen was running, blah, 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 blah. Now you come back in a rematch and everybody's calling Boots elite. I'm not yet. And not because of the Karen fight. I've told you before the Karen fight, I don't see it in Boots yet. But the elite fighter is supposed to make the lesser fighter in a rematch, once you've had 12 rounds to study him, make him look better. We didn't see that from Boots. Now, after the fight, we heard Boots say something like, man, when I need competition to bring out the better fighter in me. That's a red flag, dog. That tells me that I know a lot of fighters say that, but that's a red flag, especially if you ain't proven yourself. Now you're seeing this shit going back and forth. I want to be 154. Oh, maybe not if it's Vergil. Brian Norman. I'm going to pay Karen a little bit more money than I'm going to pay Brian Norman so we can fight in Philly. Like, all of these little things are red flags for me, bro, to where maybe Boots ain't what we thought he was. You know what I mean, dog? So,
great point. Red flag, too, like you stated. He in front of his hometown, JJ. You know, Philadelphia ain't the richest city, right? He in front of his hometown who supported him. It was a sellout. And if you're not able to get up in front of your hometown where you're from, you're not who you is. And I don't believe you.
we'll touch on this real quick before we go to the random next topic. It sounds like they might try to get Fundora in there for Vergil. Do you think that's a good matchup? Do you think that's an entertaining matchup? And who do you think, based on early rumors, who you think takes that fight?
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, right? I don't know because when you become a champion, JJ, everybody say this, you get better, right? And Fundora, being as tall as he is and lanky, right? And can punch too, right? With Vergil Ortiz, who can also punch. But with Vergil, it's gonna be harder to punch. You can punch him in his body, you know, try to make the head come to you, but it's gonna be easier for me for Fundora to punch Vergil Ortiz than Vergil Ortiz to punch um, Sebastian Fundora. I think I'm leaning Fundora right now, JJ. I'm leaning Sebastian Fundora for the activity. For yeah, and yeah, I'm leaning Fundora. Like this is no knock towards Vergil Ortiz. He's the hometown fighter, right? And you know, this ain't even about hometown. This is about being honest and giving our fair assessment, right? Um, the inactivity. You know, Vergil gonna have to come show us, just like we say he trying to get the fights, right? But he's gonna have to actually come back and introduce himself to the boxing fans again, JJ. He's gonna have to introduce himself and we believe, but you're gonna have to make us believers again because it's been a while since we seen Vergil, you know, and especially up against you know, solid competition. And I think Sebastian Fundora is the solid competition. And I think if Vergil is who he is, he needs to come back and make us believers. I know he's good, but the inactivity and him not fighting, you know, and Sebastian Fundora and what I done seen out of him, I have to lean towards Fundora right now, Jay.
I can dig it. I think you make good points. It's a toss-up fight, but I would say this. Fundora has the body frame, obviously, the measurables to beat damn near anybody with that length, and he's got power. But Fundora does not use it all the time. Fundora's stubborn ass, with the exception of the Tim Tszyu fight where he kept Tim Tszyu out on the outside, if Fundora fights like that all the time, he'll be hard to beat. But I think he's a knucklehead that gets drawn in to fighting inside fights when he doesn't have to fight inside fights. And I think Vergil Ortiz, when he gets punched, he's got that same Bud Crawford instinct where you hit them, they come back a little bit harder. And I think Vergil will force an inside fight. Fundora likes to make the crowd make the crowd happy. I think Fundora will get sucked into an inside fight where Vergil will absolutely destroy him on the inside, bro. And that's, again, I said absolutely destroy, but because that's what Vergil does. He's like a pit once he's in the inside, and I can see him just going to town. So early pick. Who knows if we get that fight? Who knows what the hell's going to happen with riot season and all this shit? again, I'm disgusted with. Before we move on to the next topic, let's hit some of these what you call these comments. Guido Pion, salute big dog. This era boxing is soft. Bunch of male betas running the sport. fact. Kagi, by the time Boots steps in the ring for 147 fight, he last 165, 170. Yeah, so moving 154 shouldn't be a big deal. I'm an EJ supporter. After Bud beat him, a lot of EJ fans suddenly made Boots as the Bud killer, but it was nothing based off of Boots' wins, but off what they want him to be. 100% K. I could not agree with that more.
That's a great comment.
I thought that was going to be, I'll be honest, I thought that was going to be Jermell Charlo, because remember, that's when he got the Canelo fight. Jermell was yapping on the side. I thought the Spence supporters weren't going to transition to Jermell, but it ended up being Boots. And Boots didn't really do nothing to deserve that. You're absolutely right. Shout out to Al Money. Appreciate you tuning in, dog. Mr. What's up, man? We appreciate you always locking in. All right, Corey, I'm going to shoot from the hip now. This is another big topic right now, though, so it's not that much shooting from the hip. But this is a multifaceted conversation we'll have here between our homie, our family, little Kid Austin Schofield, and Shakur Stevenson, who I've been a big supporter of for a long time and make a little curious. Shakur Stevenson, Kid Austin. We've seen the back and forth for about a week now. They agreed to the fight. De La Hoya said no, but then De La Hoya said if you want it. All sorts of shit, man. I want to talk specifically, maybe not just yet, but I don't want to forget to talk about this. The text message that Schofield Sr. posted from De La Hoya. He says, I seriously believe in your son so much. I have love for him. He's 22, and I know how to make a champ for the next 15 years without running the risk of getting beat because of lack of experience. But if you're telling me to make it, then I'll make it. Happy Thanksgiving and have a blessed day. Matter of fact, I do want to talk about that. I want to shout out real quick because, you know, these promoters, man, it's a tough job. It's a tough job to give fighters what they want and give fans what they want and make money for your company and all that, especially in today's boxing world where there's piracy and stuff. So not every move De La Hoya makes is great. Not every move Eddie Hearn makes is great. Not every move, none of these guys is going to be perfect. But I like this, dog. I like what De La Hoya. A lot of people were giving him shit. Oh, well, I thought you said you needed to put your fighters out there if they want it. Oscar De La Hoya right here in this text message is proving a couple of things. It's proven that, A, he cares about his fighters, and he's got a plan for them. It proves he's honest with his fighters. He ain't just gassing them up. Hey, this ain't the time. This ain't, I don't think we can do this. We can win titles for a long time to come, but, you know, we don't want to rush it. But it also proves that he listens to his fighters, and that's important. You don't, it's good for your brand. It's good for your image. It's good for the team spirit and shit. Kid Austin wants his fight. Most boxing fans don't think he's ready for it. But who the hell are we to tell another man if he's ready for a fight? Oscar De La Hoya is doing his job of saying, I don't think you're ready for it. But he's letting the fighter make the decision. Now, we're still yet to see the fight get signed. But from that last interaction behind the scenes where Oscar wasn't trying to show off to the public, we saw a man who cares about his fighters, a man with a plan, a man who's honest, but a man who listens to his fighters and gives them what they want. For me, I salute Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya just from what I've seen on that text. We'll get into the fight, and it's going to happen a little bit, but specifically with that, Corey, that's what I wanted to talk about. What are your thoughts on how Golden Boy's handling it?
Back Saturday, see, I love and respect Oscar De La Hoya, right? He's one of my favorite fighters coming up. Like one of my favorite fighters, the Golden Boy coming to the ring. It was just like the big aura about seeing the Golden Boy coming to the ring. I forever respect and have much love for Oscar De La Hoya for what, you know, he did in the sport of boxing and what he's doing for promotions. But this is the same guy who just stated that it's not the promoters, it's the fighters. This is the same guy who said that on the Clapback Thursday like 2 weeks ago. It's not the promoters, it's the fighters. He said that. Then he come back, right? and say, "Kid, Eddie Hearn, why do you want to put Shakur Stevenson up against my prospect?" Right?
Oh,
And that's where I had a problem with Oscar De La Hoya, and we have to be fair and honest. Right? I got much respect for Golden Boy, but I have to be fair in my assessment. Now, Oscar De La Hoya, right? First, I'm calling him a prospect. Like you deserve, you need to give that man a full apology, right? I think that was low to get on your clapback Thursdays and call Kid Austin a prospect who rated number 2 in the WBA, right? Okay, it's fair, right? Shakur should be favored in this fight, so I don't take that away from De La Hoya, but by saying that like Shakur is gonna be favored, but calling him a prospect out of the line, right? And like you said, care about his fighters. That's great, but don't get up there and tell us it's not the promoters, it's the fighters. And then when your guy is rated number 2 in a sanction body, that's a guy who's not a prospect to me. If he's ranked number 2 in a WBA, right? He's not a prospect if he's that high up. Whether anybody around the world think he'll win, lose, or draw, if he want that fight, he want that fight. You got to go back and look at history, right? Because people it's a lot of people who people thought weren't gonna win the fight, right? And that's fair, right? Because you got to pick this guy or pick that guy. One guy gonna be heavily favored, but we done seen guys who we thought wasn't gonna win before and
yeah.
come and do the unthinkable, JJ. And then there's another thing right here too. It's like Oscar, put yourself in this position or any other fighter who put themselves in his position when if you 17, 18 and 0 and you want to prove yourself to be great. That's what it's about. Oscar, you want to prove yourself to be great. And when this dude got a contract sent to him for $1.2 million from guys like Oscar De La Hoya, who done made over $300 million in his career, to tell this guy and this dad who come from nothing to not take that $1.2 million fight and have the opportunity to face Shakur Stevenson and possibly beat him out of line. Right? Now you can curl all you want to, Oscar, but don't tell us it's not the promoters, it's the fighters. And then you come and say, no, he's a prospect and whoopty whoop this and that. Then you like to say, we can make the fight if you want to make the fight. Well, Oscar, it was obvious they want to make the fight. In boxing, we want to see guys like Kid Austin, JJ. This is what type of guys you want to see. Because I don't give a damn if Kid Austin win, lose, or draw. I'm gonna still support him because he's doing what we want to see in the sport of boxing. Try to be great, right? And that's what every other fighter needs to see. They're trying to be great. Because look at Bruce Ennis. Look what he's doing. He don't want to fight Vergil Ortiz. Look what Kid Austin want to do. He want to fight. He want to fight Shakur Stevenson. He want to fight Tank Davis. He want to fight Devin Haney. And that's the type of attitude and mindset that you're supposed to have in a sport of boxing. So, yeah, that's I had a problem with that. Like I said, I respect Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. Whoopie whoop, but you can't say one thing and do the other because it make you come out and look. It seemed like a hypocrite. Yeah, he tried to clean it up. Cool, but Oscar De La Hoya, you made your money. You wanted to be great. You wanted to take them chances. Yeah, you were high rated. You was a gold medalist. Everybody seen it in you like whoopie whoop. But let's be honest, when you got to your biggest fight, Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad, you lost.
Hey,
And
hey,
that's
hey, 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 hey,
no,
hey,
no,
hey.
no, no. That's being honest.
You watch
When he
your
got to
mouth.
no, no, no. When he got to his biggest fight against Felix Trinidad, right? He lost, and he was the favorite in that fight, who everybody thought he was going to win. And then he bounced back off of that and kept fighting. The great fights. So don't deny this kid opportunity when you had your moment in boxing and you done made all the money because this kid have the opportunity to change the landscape of boxing. And this is the type of kid that we want to see, and a lot of other fighters have the mentality like this to make boxing great again.
Yeah. Now I want to touch on some things because because a lot of people who are against the fight are calling Shakur. I mean, anytime Kid Austin talks about Tank or Shakur, right? It's this kid is still a prospect. This kid is still a prospect. I don't believe anymore that they're calling him a prospect anymore because his inactivity. Because, like I said, Tank Davis had his opportunity with who did he win his champion? Who did he win his first title for from?
Pedraza.
Yeah, that was his 17th fight. You know, so nobody was saying, "Oh, this young kid doesn't deserve a title shot." Blah 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 blah. It's just I don't know why we feel the need to protect or to say so and so doesn't deserve this fight. Kid Austin is up on the rankings. Kid Austin's got 18 fights, a lot of them by knockout. He's won decisions, so he's done all the work. People just look at him and they say they don't like how he looks, and I'm including Oscar De La Hoya in this. They don't like how he boxes. It looks too wild. It looks too rough. So he's still a prospect. Look, kid is already 22, dog. He is what he is. And when I say he is what he is, I don't mean he can't improve. I mean his foundation, who he is as a fighter, it's there. We're never going to turn Shakur Stevenson into this pocket offensive-minded. We're never going to turn Tank Davis into a super active fighter. Like, that's just who he is. Now, you can take Kid Austin and make his skill set better, but that's who he is. That's how his fights are going to look now. We've seen over and over and over. We've talked to him before. Oh, I'm going to do a little bit more boxing. He gets in that ring, boom. He turns into an animal. That's who he is now. So this idea that he's a prospect still, I think it comes from people's eyeball tests and saying he looks rough and he doesn't look pure. We're not going to see that from Kid Austin. Not this year, not next year, not the year after. He is who he is. So we can't just sit around and wait till somebody said, oh, now he's a contender. No, he's worked his way up. He's number 2 in the WBA. I know Shakur don't have WBA, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with this fight happening. He's a young kid. He's a hungry kid. Boxing has a huge problem right now. We have a couple of folks like Kid Austin and Bam Rodriguez and all these guys who want to take the fight. Let's not put a roadblock with them. Let's let these youngsters show the rest of boxing how it's supposed to be done. The great thing about Schofield is he understands I might lose to Shakur. I might lose to Tank. They don't care what their record is at the end of the day. They don't. They care about what they're doing right now. And I respect Kid Austin for doing it. Look, say what you want about Shakur Stevenson. He's not getting the fights. You can say nobody wants to get him because nobody wants to see him, whatever. If Shakur gives Kid Austin this opportunity, he's got my salute too, because it's a young, dangerous prospect in people's eyes. So make the fight happen. Let's stop with this bullshit about he's not ready or he don't deserve it. Let's just make the fights happen and see what happens, man. That's why I'm at it. I'm excited for it.
And that's a great point too, JJ, because we know Shakur is a good fighter, and we know Shakur tendencies against athletic fighters who could punch a little bit. So if people think that Kid Austin is not going to be on Shakur, because let's be honest, Shakur don't punch hard. He don't. That's just who Shakur is, JJ. He is who he is. Like you say, we know he don't punch hard. So if y'all don't think this fight ain't going to be exciting, if y'all don't think Kid Austin is going to make Shakur Stevenson earn this fight, right? I'm telling you, bro.
Hey, bro, let's say Kid Austin don't win that fight. You know what I will guarantee you? Kid Austin is going to shake him up at some point in that fight. Kid Austin ain't going away fast. And Kid Austin will land a shot. How Shakur will. Like I said, we've had the privilege to see. Kid Austin isn't new to us. We've seen the kid grow up. And for y'all who have only seen, this fight or a couple of tweets or his daddy running his social media and y'all are listening to that, it's a dangerous, dangerous fight for Shakur Stevenson. And it can happen. Listen, I like to bring up Vinalo Lopez at 126. He doesn't, or back when he became famous at 126, he doesn't look the part. If you look at him, you say, he's still kind of a prospect. He's not fine-tuned. But he figures out how to win these fights. These guys with the perfect boxing style. He figures out how to win the fights. Kid Austin's got guts, heart. He's not afraid to lose. He's got some good ears in his corner. So Yeah, you said it right. Shakur's going to be the favorite in that fight if we get it. But I will not be surprised one bit to see Kid Austin give him hell or even take the strap. And guys, everybody who wants to say he's not ready, stop it. Y'all are hurting American boxing. We're not talking about taking a guy out straight from the amateurs who's fought 3 fights and throwing him in there with Tank Davis. We're talking about an undefeated power puncher who has skills, a young guy, against another elite boxer. It's not like Shakur's going to knock his ass out. Not like Shakur's going to hurt him. So let's stop with it. So, in my opinion, salute
And
to
I ain't
Golden
saying
Boy.
Shakur can't hurt him. Look, because he possibly can, because, like I say, both fighters have tendencies, right? They do. But like I said, how can if Shakur can't buy a bucket and this guy right here ranked number 2 in the WBA, like damn, so who y'all want Shakur to fight then? So y'all want him to go lower?
Yeah. It's stupid,
People
dog.
talking about Andy Cruz. And I wouldn't be mad if he fight Andy Cruz, but Andy Cruz didn't even look that great in his last fight. I wouldn't be mad at that fight either, but goddamn, Kid Austin, Andy Cruz is a gold medalist, unlike Shakur, and Keyshawn. So I think it is stability there, but like he needs some more work. He truly do.
Well, that's all I got to say about that. I hope we get it. Who knows when the hell it's going to happen now with the boots, because it was supposed to be on the boots and this Vergil Ortiz undercard. So maybe it's a headliner now. Who knows? But I wanted to say I want to see the fight happen. I'm excited. Obviously, we got love for our boy Kid Austin. Obviously, I've been rocking with Shakur for a long, long time. But I want to see the fight happen. I want to see it happen. I think we can see history be made, or if not, we can see Shakur. Like, it's a win-win for Shakur. If he's that good, let's see you go in there and look good against a power puncher. Let's see it.
Because
So,
JJ, look, because Shakur got a lot to prove too. Because people is turned off about with Shakur right now. Because people
mhm.
don't feel like as good as Shakur is and the way he talk on the outside of the ring, he ain't proven that on the inside of the square circle. Like and Shakur say, my next fight, y'all gonna see the best me. Well, Shakur, we're ready to see. He got a lot to prove too. So if you think this is just a big moment for Kid Austin, well, this definitely a big moment for Shakur Stevenson because he gonna have to make more chances, right, to make people believe in him again, JJ. I'm not crying for Shakur Stevenson. In reality, I want to see this fight right here, but like because Kid Austin want this fight, right? Because nobody else do. But like Shakur Stevenson, bro, if he don't show up, right, and show us that he want to really fight, bro, I ain't saying not be smart. But you can't sit up here and bore us playing ring around the roses, patty cake, Baker man, roll 'em. You can't. He has to come in here and entertain us. They be talking about a win is a win. No, a win ain't just no win. Yeah, I give it to you. Go in there and win the fight. If you just want to win the fight and you don't want people to be excited and people want to come out to your fights, do that. But y'all don't think y'all gonna entertain us, the public, who watch these fights, who show up and want to go to these fights and watch them. Y'all don't think y'all have to intrigue us with entertainment, and that's your current problem. So it's a big moment for him too, Jay.
Facts, dog. 100%, bro. We see he hasn't really blown anybody away at 135 yet. So we'll see what he does if this fight goes down. For me, I've said this for the longest about Tank, about Shakur. I can't really say it about Devin because Devin's taking the big fights against Loma and shit, but they need to prove it still. They need to prove it. I'm sorry, Tank Davis. Beating Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero didn't prove shit to me. Shakur Stevenson, I think the world of you, but that fight against Edwin De Los Santos didn't prove shit to me besides the slip. Kid Austin, I will say this. You got to hit the body. You got to attack the body because you're not going to touch Shakur's chin, especially early. And all you're going to do is get tired from swinging and missing Shakur's chin. So if you go in and you're attacking the body and you're not swinging and missing for 8-9 rounds, loading up Shakur's chin, and you're tired at the end of the fight, we might have a fight. Now, if Kid Austin goes in there headhunting, loading up on every shot, He's going to be tired by the 7th, 8th round, and who knows? Shakur might stop his ass at that point. But hey, man, it's time to test these guys, all of them.
You right, JJ. Kid Austin. Kid Austin know he my guy, and I got much love for him. But Kid Austin gonna have to be controlled in this fight. He's gonna have to be super controlled in this fight. He's gonna have to be aggressive, but he's gonna have to not smother his punches in this fight, JJ. Like you said, he's gonna have to be meticulous with the way he throw his punches and make sure he's on point. Because to beat Shakur, you're gonna have to be in this place, JJ. Simple as that. You're gonna have to hound him like a dog, right? So, but with Kid Austin, we see him swinging for the fences. Yeah, thank you. You're trying to knock him out, but we need you to be a little bit more meticulous and be more accurate with your punches, especially going up against a guy who could box around that square circle. Whether we're entertained or not, we know this guy could box his ass off. It could be a boring ass boxing fight. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, before we change topics, let's hit the chat real quick. Raymond Cavazos, my cousin Eddie. What's up? Hey, Eddie. This guy here, bro. I think Theo Fred likes him more than he likes me, dog. He's all in the family. Shout out to Eddie.
Shout out to Coach Fred, man.
Yeah,
shout out to Raymond too. Cavazos.
Yeah, that's shout out. I appreciate you, Eddie. He was rocking our merch on Facebook the other day, so appreciate you.
Ooh.
We got that guy. I get the point, but he's losing fighters. But also, he's referring to Golden Boy when we were saying he's doing good things. He's losing fighters. He said, "Is Jaime Munguia gone?" That's an L. If so, it's weird with the Munguia shit. They don't give us really a whole lot of details on it, but yeah, he's losing fighters, bro. But one thing you can't say about
Golden Boy, losing fighters.
Well, listen, Golden Boy. They've been saying he's dying for 20 years now. And he's still right there in the mix. Right there in the mix. Golden Boy knows what he's doing. He ain't going nowhere. Eddie,
everybody losing fighters, though. Top Rank just lost Shakur. Who left from PB Boots Ennis went to Matchroom. Yeah. Everybody losing fighters, bro. Bro, this like a circus, bro. Everybody gonna bounce around, right? That's just how boxing go, bro. You ain't gonna stay with one promoter forever, bro. Like sometimes it happens and sometimes it don't. That's just the business, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Mr. Gumbo, Shakur stopping Austin Powers. Don't duck me, Mr. 214. What's up? All right, Corey. I did my shoot from the hip with the De La Hoya Shakur shit. What do you want to talk about? You got one for me now?
Oh, yeah, man. We got to talk about Claressa Shields, Amanda Serrano, and we got to talk about Cameron. You know, Cameron the rapper. When this ripping time, when this ripping time, Dipset, when this ripping time. If y'all know who Cameron is, right? So, let's get into Claressa Shields, right? Claressa Shields, no, I got much love. I got much love for you, Claressa. Right? I do. I think you're the best female fighter on the planet. I do, right? I do. I truly do. I do. You prove that, right? But Claressa Shields got upset, JJ, because Cameron said Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor was the biggest viewed women female fight of all time, right? And Claressa hit him up in his DM say, no, like basically saying, no, you're wrong. I'm the biggest viewed women's fight of all time, right? And right, and then Cameron said, oh, because he said I headlined and basically like we did 2 million or something. Yeah. And then Cameron said, okay, cool, congratulations. Well, you used to be the biggest viewed woman of all time. And Claressa just took that and ran with it, right? And she told Cameron, she was on Twitter Spaces or something, and she said, black people, he do this, they don't like their mother, they hate their mother, they hate their sister, right? And Claressa, this is what we're going to have to put a stop sign up on you, right? Let me holler at you, Claressa.
Claressa gonna get it. Man, she gonna block us, Corey. Don't make her block
Man,
us.
listen. I mean, like reality is reality, right? When I told her that she was gonna lose to what's that pretty white girl over?
Savannah Marshall.
No, no. The one I can't think of her name, but that's when she hit me up in my DM, right? And we had our little back and forth, right?
Proved
I
your
can't
ass
think of
wrong
that.
though, didn't she?
I can't
Who you
think.
talking about?
I can, who was that
Let me
girl? That pretty ass girl from
yeah,
across the pond.
keep proving your point. I'll get to work on it. I'm trying to see who you're
Uh,
talking about.
so anyway, when I told her that she was gonna lose. I thought old girl was gonna beat her, right? I thought she was gonna beat Clarissa, right? So, whoopie whoop, Clarissa proved me wrong, and she was the winner, right? And I
Are you talking about
apologize,
Christina Hammer?
Christina Hammer,
All right.
Christina Hammer, Christina Hammer, right? So Clarissa Shields, let me holler at you. Like I think that's very malice of you to say that black man or Cameron hate his mother or hate his sister or hate black women when the only thing he stated was Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor was the most viewed women's fight of all time. And Clarissa, you know I like reality, right? And what they say about reality, Clarissa Shields, it's a motherfucker. And Clarissa, in actuality, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor is the most viewed women's fight of
Event.
all time.
Event.
Events of all time, right? Of all time. Ain't nobody ever seen them, no women with them two faces that much, right? Clarissa, we know what you did in the sport of boxing. You tell us every day, and you got the right to, because you earned that hard work, dedication when you was a young child. You worked hard to get where you be, and I promise you, Clarissa, you let us know that on a daily. And you have every right to. I promise you, this is no shot. You got every right to, because anybody who done accomplished as much as you, hell yeah, you supposed to, talk your shit, and yeah, this is who I am. But Clarissa, it seems like every time another woman's fighter get mentioned, as a headline and as a topic, it seems like you gotta put yourself in the mix to take away from them other women get celebrated to make the vocal point about you, Clarissa. And this is all honest and unbiased. Clarissa, women boxing ain't all about you, right? Now I will give you this. You was the golden ticket for women boxing. I give you that. You was the golden ticket for women boxing to elevate women boxing with this. And I give you this. I think more people in the world uh, rock with you more than any other female fighter, or this and not even if they rock with you. Everybody know you is the most dominant woman on the planet, and I even think in viewer like just you, we know that, right? But you can't rain down on somebody else's parade in their moment, trying to capture your moment to make it all about you, Clarissa Shields. Like, and I think that's as unfair. That is as fair as I could be about that assessment. I think it's you putting yourself in a position, right? And I know you probably don't care, right? And then that's cool, but you putting yourself in a position to where you're gonna have people looking at you a certain type of way. Perception is everything. Trust me. Trust me. I lived through it. I know about perception. I know how the whole world could come tumbling down. I get it. But perception is everything. And the perception that's coming off of you is a hating aura when it comes to any other woman getting their props and their flowers. That's
I
all I got to
love
say
it.
about
Listen, dog, and I'm gonna jump in with what you just said about what you went through. Listen, I've seen all this shit that IOTBA started and all the shit that happened before you and I ever met, right? But I got to know Corey Bradshaw. I got to know you, right? I got to know you. So when I would go out and I would tell people, yeah, I'm working with IOTBA now. First thing, most of the time, Corey, and I'm just being straight up. I told you this. Oh, you working with that dude? Oh, you working with IOTBA? He this, he's that, he's this, he's that. Ugh. What you said about perception. Perception. You know who I knew? Corey, don't get mad. I knew a gentle Corey. The guy I bring to my house, the guy that hangs out with the family. I knew a Corey different than what the perception was. And that perception, Corey, hate it or love it, it did blow you up, but it did hold you back a little bit too, right? Let's be real. So the point you made to Claressa just now is brilliant. Is exactly right. Claressa, you are who you are. Your family members, hell, us. Like us. I've sent you, we've had DMs on the side where I'm telling you, oh, my wife said this and that, you know. Us, we see a different person than everybody sees. And I know, like you said, Claressa, she probably don't give a shit. I know you don't care, Claressa, but it affects marketing dollars. It affects pay-per-view buys. It affects that sort of stuff. We know a Claressa Shields who is, I love Claressa. I love her, man. I got a lot of love for Claressa. But I understand the heat she's getting because, you know, you have to see that perception. And Claressa Shields, like, you called it a stop sign earlier, Corey. Yeah, stop sign, penalty flag, hold up, timeout. Claressa, you've done a ton to women's boxing. Even in just a short amount of time that the spit bucket has been a thing. Like, you called us out, and we still haven't fixed it. Our introduction don't even have a woman in it, in the video, the intro clip. And you called us out, and we still have to go in there and fix it. It has changed so much, largely in part because of you. But Claressa Shields, when you're blowing something up, you have to be prepared for other people to start getting shine too. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, those women are Hall of Famers, first ballot. Those women have done so much to the sport too. They have done so much to the sport, too. Also, as well, collaboratively, y'all have done this together, Claressa. There is nothing wrong with saying, hey, sister, soul sister, look what we are doing. You don't think Jake Paul knew that everybody was going to be tuning in? So we're going to throw them right below us? That was part of the plan. You don't think 100 million people, you don't think Jake Paul knew 100 million people were going to watch because Mike Tyson was on the card? Do you think 100 million people would have watched without Mike Tyson on the card? No, they wouldn't have. But nobody is saying, Floyd Mayweather's not saying, Manny Pacquiao's not saying, Conor McGregor's not saying, all these other guys who had the highest views before them, nobody's saying, well, they only went in to watch Mike Tyson, not Jake Paul. Nobody's saying that. The facts are the facts. However it happened is how it happened. But the fact is, 50 million people tuned in to Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, 50 million households, so more people. And here's the best part about it. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor understood the assignment. And not only did were they viewed, but that's what people were talking about. So first off, salute to Serrano and Katie Taylor, because not only did y'all get the views, y'all did exactly what y'all were supposed to do. Y'all executed. Y'all were the buzz after the fight. Claressa Shields, instead of hating, you should have said, look what we're doing, ladies. Look what we're doing. Because, yeah, Claressa, this is a good thing for you that 50 million households tuned in. Because you know what? Now 50 million households said, hey, women's boxing is for real. Women's boxing is not a joke. Women's boxing is to be taken serious. So next time Miss Claressa, the GOAT Shields fights, more eyeballs are on your shit, man. Y'all work together. The fact that people are debating who's the GOAT is good for you. You don't want to be a sport where you're the only competition. That's going to hurt your legacy. So the fact that people are arguing who the GOAT is great for you in your career, Claressa. So all that me, Corey, my household, and the American fan base are saying is stop hating. Amanda has done nothing but showing you love. Y'all can combine forces. Y'all can co-main event one day. Why are you hating? Why are you hating 2 weeks before your movie comes out? Like you're picking the worst time. Claressa, the boxing world respects you, loves you, and gives you all your flowers. When I'm at the office talking boxing with all these casuals who don't know what the hell they're talking about, you know who they know in women's boxing? They know Claressa Shields. So like Corey said, we love you. We respect you. We're grateful for the opportunities you're given to work with us and you. But dog, you can't be doing this for somebody who just laid their heart and soul in the ring like Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor did 2 times. How they got those 50 million viewers don't matter. They got those 50 million viewers. They executed. Done deal. Let's celebrate. Now you go and do your thing like we know you know how to do next time.
And there's another thing too. And Claressa stopped signing on you too. Amanda Serrano done went through how many divisions ever? And been
8,
champion
9,
like 6 or 7. Yeah,
7, 8, 6, 7. Yeah.
Claressa, if you don't think it's a debate, if she could be the GOAT too, come on now. Because in actuality, like just
And she
it's
won
a
in the cage
debate.
too. She won MMA
Yeah,
fights too.
yeah. So you can't say that she ain't in conversation with all the divisions she done been through. And we, like I say, I love Claressa and gonna continue to rock with her. You know, it's that and you brought up something, like a movie coming out. Why would you do that? Why would you do that when you got this movie coming out? And another thing, Claressa, you know, when you seen all them 70,000 people in there, was you feeling a certain type of way or something? Right? Because look, that could have in actuality been you and Amanda Serrano on that call. But you know what you did? You got this big feud with Jake Paul, not calling him a real boxer, and you let your feelings get in between the business, right? Because you could have been a big headline with them on that card too. You with Jake Paul, you on the cards with Jake Paul. Y'all want to go talk about real boxing? So what? Okay, it's real boxing, and they got this other boxing now too. And the problem is that they seen how much publicity this fight got, how much it generated, right? So that's where all the maliciousness come from Claressa Shields, and it's crazy that she can't see that. She can sit up here and say we're jealous. Ain't nobody jealous of you, Claressa, right? You got everything. As a matter of fact, you got women fighters who growing up now they looking at you, not just you. But you think all the little other little girls ain't looking at Amanda Serrano too? Ain't watching her? You think they ain't getting excited? They just don't tune in for you, Claressa. Women boxing is not just about you and you only. You ain't the only one who name we should talk about, right? She always talking about she feel disrespected. How can you feel disrespected when it's more flower, when ain't nothing but flowers thrown at you? Claressa, you were totally out of line. You initiated this situation. And you also said he a fake boxer. So, Claressa, why you show up to the fight? I mean, you supported the fake boxer move. What you gonna say? Because Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor was on the card?
It
Oh,
don't
okay,
sound like it.
when Cameron came out and said the most watched women's event of all time, I mean, with a woman fighting in the event, you got mad about that, and then you want to try to bring it up talking about headline. Claressa, we don't give a
Man,
damn about that. We don't give a damn about that. What we know is facts and reality is reality. More people across this country seen Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor than they ever seen you in a boxing event. And that ain't throwing no salt. That's just reality.
Facts, man. That's a fact. And like going back to the movie thing, you know how big a following Amanda Serrano has right now? You know how easy Amanda Serrano could just put out a tweet and say, "Hey guys, y'all go support Claressa Shields' movie this weekend." And how many people would go support Claressa Shields' movie? You think Amanda Serrano is going to do that now? No. So Claressa literally took money out of her own pocket by, instead of uniting as women, which they really should do, because this is, I hate to admit it, this is a man's world. This is a man's world, and you have to prove something a little harder if you're a woman in this sport. From commentating to coaching to media to content creators to the fighters. It sucks, but it's just the reality we live in. Y'all trying to play in this man sport, then y'all have to prove yourself. It's an ugly reality that we're facing. So y'all should be bonding together. Y'all should be collaborating. Y'all should be praising each other. 50 million households. Holy shit. We changing the game. But no, Claressa, it's a terrible look. And another thing, Floyd Mayweather made a career out of being the villain, right? He made a career out of people tuning in just to see him lose because he talked up such a bad game. Again, it doesn't work for women. The public generally doesn't want to see a woman calling out dudes. I'm not talking about me. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying from what my eyeballs see on social media and just American society as a whole, the Mayweather blueprint won't work if you're a woman. You're only going to get, she talks too much shit. It's just how we are wired. You know, that's just how it is. So the Mayweather blueprint not going to work. She has to be loving. She has to support her colleagues. What are you going to say?
I'm saying what she was doing, it could work, but the reason why it ain't working, Jay, is because it's always some salt. You know, like on another like individual. When I get the Claressa Shields, get a lot of hate. You know, you got Alicia Baumgartner saying she want to fight. You got Michaela Mayer saying that, but Michaela Mayer don't never throw no haters. They got a cool relationship. But I get it. But and then there's another thing that's facts on reality. Claressa Shields, Amanda Serrano got 1.2 million followers. You got 1 million, sweetheart. I mean, so what's we gonna say about that? Is we gonna say will you get mad if we say Amanda Serrano got more followers than you?
It's just a
Would
fact.
that be a problem? That's just a fact.
It's
It
just a
ain't no
fact.
throwing no salt. Like you got 1 million followers, Claressa Shields. Like it ain't man out here. It ain't a lot of people out here who has 1 million followers, right? But Amanda Serrano got 1.2 million. That's a fact. Amanda Serrano had 50 million households. They saying 130 million people watching the fight. That's a fact. So you make this all out of nothing because of your entitlement, right? Of you feeling like you should be the only one talked about in women's sport. And I think that curveball you threw, that turned a lot of people off. And look, I'm still rocking with you, just to let you know that. But I
Mm-hmm.
would just advise you, Claressa, because you're at the top of your field, just be more gracious, about the moment, not just yourself, but everybody else, because a lot of the women fighters, they looking at you, they appreciate you. But Claressa, if you think they don't want what you got, everybody want to make money too. They want to be known too. Like when you at the top of the food chain, everybody want that. You ain't got to be the only one who at the top of the food chain. It's gonna be a lot of top of the food chain fights. I can remember Floyd Mayweather came out. We knew he was the best, but this dude couldn't even sell a ticket at the beginning of his career. This dude wasn't popular until he got with Roger Mayweather and started switching it up and started becoming more offensively great, right? But Floyd used so it just I just think that was a bad look and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I
yeah.
do believe that you can clean it up, but I just think and then saying, and then saying, after the fight, oh, you know, Amanda Serrano didn't win the fight, and I'm not mad at her for saying that, but it made it look like to the public, right? And she can say whatever she want to say that, oh, I wasn't hating or nothing, but it made it look like to the public that you was hating on her not getting that victory when majority of the public thought she got that victory. And I ain't saying that's no malice. I'm just telling you about perception and the way it
Mm.
looked.
Facts, bro. Facts. We'll move on. Before we move on, let's just hit a couple of these. Man, y'all going in on Claressa. I ain't gonna post all this mean ass shit. Mr. Gumbo, you don't get Jordan always explaining what he accomplished over and over in basketball. I agree. Claressa acting mid while being a pretty good fighter. She sucked at the Mayweather act. Gumbo says she texted me IOTBA that she blocked you. Katie and Amanda ain't putting out tweets like family members asking when I'm going to be a mom. Yeah, but you know it is what it is, guys. Corey, I got one more topic I want to talk. How you doing on time?
Yeah, well, that's right. One more topic.
No, it's just an announcement, a fight announcement. We've been talking about Canelo and Benavidez for so damn long. We finally got a good matchup for David Benavidez and David Morrell, 175. David Benavidez said, look, yeah, I wanted the payday, but I also want a challenge. And for that, David Benavidez, I salute you. But I'm going to cut straight to the chase, my friend. I'm going to go ahead and make my boxing prediction. I love that these two are fighting. I love that nobody's saying, what has Morrell done? Who has he beat? None of that shit. This is just a straight up two dudes who want to fight, putting it on the line. I think David Morrell wins that fight, bro. I think David Morrell, unfortunately for David Benavidez, is going to stop the potential Canelo money fight for him. So I think Morrell comes out, boxes him. I've always had issue with David Benavidez' balance, his footwork, his positioning, and I think David Morrell is going to expose that. But I just wanted to take some time to say salute to both of them for making the fight happen. And who knows, maybe by the end of the year, we can see another undisputed clash at 175 where either one of those guys, Morrell, Benavidez, better be at the Bevo. What are your thoughts on the fight? You excited?
No, I'm not excited. I salute someone for making the fight, but the reason why I'm not excited because they put this fight on pay per view.
Because what?
They put this fight on pay per view.
I see. Yeah.
That's right. David Benavidez versus David Morrell is not a pay per view fight. This is astonishing to me. This is a good fight, but telling the fans, the boxing fans around the world that we got to pay for this when people don't even know who David Morrell is. They say, look, David Morrell could walk with me and you down the street and they gonna think he one of our partners or something. They ain't gonna know that this dude is finna, fight David Benavidez. And they give us this on pay-per-view. They say boxing sucks at this right now. They giving us this good fight on pay-per-view. This just decent fight. It's a good fight, but they giving it to us on pay-per-view. I had to get that up. Now let me cut the chase and get to who I think gonna win. Yeah, at first I go back and forth with David Benavidez. He pissed me out, pissed me off. When he came in, when they had that face to face, he was looking like a Teletubby. What was her name? Pinky Winky, or whatever. Tinky Winky. He looked like Tinky Winky off the Teletubbies. When him and Morrell had that face off, and that pissed me off so much. I'm like, man, Morrell gonna kick your ass. But then I had to come back to reality, right? David Benavidez ain't never disappointed me. Like, only time he done never disappointed me is like that, because like, he got on the scale like that, not in actuality he looked like that when he got on the scale, but he lost his bet on the scale. That's the only time he ever pissed me off, and yeah, then lost his belt doing that. Then he coming there looking like Tinky Winky from the Teletubbies in the face off with David Morrell, right? So so they just piss me off, and then when I get pissed off, I just be pissed off for that moment, and sometimes my mind can over control me and say, "No, I'm going with this guy." But no, JJ, I got to come back to reality. I'm going with David Benavidez, JJ. I think David Benavidez is just advertised, right? And like a fighter is gonna have to show me like, and I'm not gonna say that I'll have him favored against like everybody right now, but like like David Morrell gonna have to show me he could beat him. There's no way that I'm picking David Morrell over David Benavidez when we seen David Benavidez the much more proven guy. I'm not saying David Morrell ain't ready for this moment, right? I just know the product I seen in David Benavidez, the product I seen in the competition he faced, which I know, JJ, it ain't always about competition, but sometimes that does matter. I got to go, with David Benavidez and winning this fight.
I like it. I dig it. Let me tell you this. I'll touch on your pay-per-view issue. You're right. You're right. Why should we have to pay for something the majority of Americans don't even know who the hell this guy is? Hell, the majority of Americans don't know who Dave Benavidez is. Obviously, the boxing public does, but again, you're not going to get new eyeballs on a sport if you're making them pay for fighters they don't know. Now, I will say this. That fight is going to be a good one. The fight is going to be good and going to be worth the $60, $70, $80, $90. It's going to be a good fight. I promise you it's going to be a good fight. And questions are going to be answered about either David Benavidez or David Morrell. I think David Morrell is going to go in there and make a point and make a statement. But, again, boxing is dropping the ball. I agree with you because this fight should be free, A, because relatively unknown names, and B, this is the type of fight you want to put out there for bars to put up. So when they're like, who the hell are these guys? If you ain't got shit to do on a Saturday night, oh, fuck it, let's put it on. This is how you attract new fans. But no, they're restricting it to only the diehards or the people who know. We're the only ones who are going to buy that fight. So I do have an issue with them making it a pay-per-view because this fight is perfect bait to bring in new audience. I think David Morrell is going to go in there and give him a boxing clinic. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo, said the Mexican Monster by stoppage, JJ, $100. At this point, I'm feeling confident in that bet. If you're still feeling confident in that bet the week of the fight.
Oh, no, my boy Mr. Gumbo. No, JJ, he 100. Mr. Gumbo 100.
I'll take on this bet the week of. But, sometimes my brain goes up and down and up and down. Right now, I'm picking Morrell. I would love to shake on it and have an official bet with you, Mr. Gumbo. So let's do it.
He's trying to bet me $50. He's trying to bet me $50. Kid Austin versus Shakur Stevenson.
He got 50 on who?
On Shakur.
Oh, I ain't touching that.
I might take that bet though. I might. Because like I said, I know this is a tall mountain to climb. I ain't finna look. I love Kid Austin. I believe in him. But I do understand this dude is going to have to come in there and be something special that night to beat Shakur Stevenson. I do understand it.
I agree with you. I agree. And
I don't think he can. I think he can, but we got to see.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. IOTBA. We're about to wrap it up. Go enjoy time with the family. We're going to be back. We're going to be coming with some new type content too. So I promise we got a lot coming in. Like I said, y'all please like, y'all share, y'all subscribe, y'all tell your friends. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, IG, TikTok, and then obviously YouTube, all the good stuff. We appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Corey, anything you want to close out with?
Man, I just want to salute everybody. We ain't been here in a few weeks. Me and JJ, we be having family things, and we be working and doing everything we can, right? But we still be in tune. We still, be talking to these fighters, these trainers, behind the scene. We always in the mix of what's going on, and salute to everybody. Like JJ said, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and please join us on all our social media platforms. We appreciate it.
All right. TSB out.
This is JJ Solomon.
This is Ray Bradshaw, Mr. IOTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.